This is Breakfast Daily. Time now to know who our personality for the day is. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to introduce to you our personality for the day. He is the Deputy EU Ambassador to Ghana, His Excellency Pieter Smidt-Van-Gelder. Ambassador, you're welcome.
Hello. Good to be here, Frima. Thank you for pronouncing my name so beautifully.
Oh, I did.
Nice to be on the show.
Great. But I mean, the last time we're talking about SMEs and, all the beautiful things that you are doing. But today, I'm sad that we are having this conversation because after a long stay in Ghana, you are leaving us. And we are not too pleased about this. We are very excited about the conversation, but not the fact that he has to leave. But let me find out from you, how do you feel, prepping yourself to leave?
Well, Frima, a bit the same as you. Sad to leave. At the same time, I've been here 4 years. I arrived with my family, 2 young boys, young at the time. My wife, who's also working, and then 4 years. And then now we are literally already in the boxes, so packing. So then at some point you think, wrap up. But no, Ghana has been treating me and my family really nicely, so in that respect we're sad, and hopefully we'll come back one day.
You should when
the boys are bigger.
But what do they say about Ghana, especially the boys?
For them, so the oldest actually is turning 11 today as we speak.
Wow, great.
And the other one is 9, so when we arrived they were 5 and 7, so the better part of their life they've been here. Actually, the better part of their life, they were not in the Netherlands, where I'm from originally, but in Africa, before we were in Sudan. And they have very good memories. They learned how to swim here for
instance,
and they do taekwondo, they do their sports, they have their friends here. And it's part of their life, really. And different from, let's say, Sudan, when they were really babies, now they will have a vivid memory of Ghana.
Right. So would Ghana be the second African country that you've been in?
For them, yes. And for me, it's my third, actually.
Okay, so...
I was younger. I started in Chad with the United Nations. Yeah, so it's my 10 years exactly.
Great. Now let's get to know you better, So tell us a little bit about who you are growing up. You've mentioned that you're from the Netherlands originally, but how was growing up for you, and how did you find yourself in this space of diplomacy?
I grew up in Amsterdam, capital city of my country. Where I grew up, it was a very mixed neighborhood. So actually, in my class, there were also Colombians, Ghanaians, people from Turkey, Morocco.
Netherlands is a beautiful place. I love your airport people.
And the airport's also nice.
Yeah.
And then I went to study up in the north. Then I did an Erasmus program, which also exists here. So it's an exchange of students. I went to France to, improve my French, which is still handy to this day if you work for the European Union.
Also, ça va?
Oui, ça va bien.
Bon, let's leave it there.
Very well. And then from there, as a young guy, I went to Colombia. Worked there. I met my wife there. She's Colombian.
Okay.
And then from there we worked briefly in Amsterdam, and then I had my first international post with UNICEF, the United Nations in Chad. So that's more or less how I entered this whole business of diplomacy. And it's been treating me nicely, I think. Yeah.
Well, I think it's nice to be a diplomat.
It is.
Yeah. But how does it feel like, because you have to move from one place to the other, especially when you are a family. You met your wife just when you started, right? And how was it like, having to now have children come in, move from one place to the other all the time? Let's say every 4 years, you have to change location and all that.
Yeah.
How easy or how difficult is that? How adventurous is that?
Well, it's definitely adventurous, I would say.
Yes.
Is it easy? No, it's not always easy.
Yeah.
But I guess every job, I could ask you maybe the same question, but then you are the ones who ask the question.
For now.
Every job has its pros and cons, right? So, of course, I like the adventure. I like to change the scenery every now and then. You get to meet very interesting people in media, in civil society, everywhere we go in the country itself. We have been to many places here in Ghana, to Wa, to Tamale, to Cape Coast, to Axim. But the downside sometimes also, the kids get a bit to say goodbye to their friends. Now everything is in boxes, and you have to change completely. You change completely scenery even from one continent to the other, right? Because we were in Central America and then Africa and then back again to Latin America, and now we go back to Europe. So that's part of the deal, I guess.
Well, I'm sure they understand what Daddy does, so they adjust well.
Yeah, well, what they think, but when they were still younger, they thought, because I had to give quite a number of speeches, and I thought they get one Ghana CD or €1 or what have you per word I pronounce. I'm not sure that's true, but they get sort of an idea of. My oldest already says he doesn't want to become a diplomat. He wants to become a writer.
Oh, wow.
Interesting. He's writing his own book. It's good at this age, yeah.
That's good. Oh, wow, I would love to read that book. So when it's ready, please, by the way, let's get it. All right. But prior to coming to Ghana, what were your impressions of this nation?
So, as I said, when I grew up, we had some people of Ghana in my neighborhood. Actually, there lived quite a number of Ghanaians in Amsterdam. So I knew a bit, not much, but I knew a bit. I had impressions, of course, of the continent because I worked in Chad and Sudan. But what I heard, and it's true that, it's a very safe country. People are easygoing. It's easy to make friends. And it's a nice country to live in, really. So that were my impressions. And luckily, they were also true.
Great. I mean, we love to hear things like that. But you have been here for 4 years. What exactly was your role, with the delegation?
Yeah, so I'm the deputy head of mission, and then your main role is actually political and in communication. Yeah. So you make sure you report back to headquarters on what is going on in the country, but also you go on mission in the country. I've been several times to Tamale, to Kumasi, to Wa, and you make sure you communicate about the projects. You replace the ambassador, of course. And you try to make sure, in a nutshell, the relations between Ghana and the European Union, which were already good, even improve. So that is the main idea.
So you got in 2019?
Correct.
Okay. And then COVID came.
That's correct.
How was that experience like?
I think my sister lives in a very small apartment in Amsterdam with 3 kids. Living here was okay. You remember as well. You were here during COVID.
Yes.
It was a 3 weeks lockdown. Back in Europe, we had very long lockdowns. But, in the beginning, everybody was a bit anxious. And also, if you're in a position of responsibility in your job, right, some people we needed to send back to Europe because we didn't know about their health and all that. Also, we had to make sure there were some people just, I remember 70-year-old guy from France and from Germany. He were here just on vacation or just doing a very short voluntary work. And they were like, yeah, but I need to go back. Yeah. And at some point, there were no planes anymore. And then also the school was closed for a long time. So, it was a bit... But I think in the end we managed, and I think the country managed quite well. I think in the end, before nobody knew, but in the end, I think Ghana
was handled
rather well. Yeah.
Now, did COVID affect anything that you had to do, because you came in with all the energy and everything, and then you come and almost everything is on lockdown. You're not moving well, and I mean a whole lot.
Okay, so we arrived in September. I remember we still did a film festival. We still had what we call a political dialogue with the vice president and ministers. And then from our side, EU, we have 9 member states here, Team Europe. We did this dialogue. We still had members of parliament from Europe coming over. All that happened until, when was it? February and March 2020. And indeed, then it stopped. So also for us as a diplomat, you need to go to see people go out. So yes, it did affect us for everybody, but in the end, we did manage to still give the support. We have quite a big cooperation envelope. We talk about that in a minute, I guess. So we continued that. We continue to do our work, but it's not the same like in any profession. Yes. So we were quite. I was personally quite happy when it was over. And of course, it affected you, also as a family, that I maybe would have liked to see even more of the country. It was possible.
But in that space, that period of time, I know that COVID would halt a lot of things. But there were also some successes that the European Union chalked, and you were part of the whole team. Would you want to share some of the successes or the great stories, the achievements that the EU, with you in it, were able to do in your 4-year stay here?
Mm-hmm. So I guess I'd like to mention 3 things, if you allow me. So
sure.
First of all, we went to Tamale up north. The bulk of our projects are in the north because, there was more needs there. We supported female entrepreneurs there on shea butter, but also on the whole security side, because, of course, we know from the Sahel spillover, it's very important that Ghana is safe, but it stays safe as well. So we have different programs there, of course, with Ghana government, with civil society, with academia. And also there I visited Ibrahim Mahama, is a friend with the Red Clay Studio. There's a big museum out there.
Oh, you went to the Red Clay Studio.
That's really nice.
When you got there, the first time I got to Red Clay, do you know the movie that came to mind? Oh, the Harry Potter movie.
Oh, really? Okay.
It really looked like something that, a space that can be used for Harry Potter movies.
Yeah.
I don't know what your own impressions were.
Maybe we can suggest, it could definitely be, the context for movie film. So, no, but it's great that, Ibrahim took this initiative and there is this cultural offer there. So, very, very, very good. And then we were also secondly in the north in Wa. I've been 3 years in a row. So 2021, 22, 23. And there what we do is basically the feeder roads for the farmers. So it's called Ghana Agriculture Program, 132 million euros. And now we had already 670 kilometers. We call it feeder roads. So it sounds technical, but it basically means you make sure there is access to markets for farmers, and you give them a collateral also because maybe they have more difficulty having access to credit. And then one thing here in Accra I'd like to mention, we did with IDEC, a civil society organization here, a big event on women in politics, because as you may know, here in Ghana, the number of female parliamentarians is quite low, also for regional standards. So to talk about what can be done to, promote the affirmative action bill, which was quite a successful event. So I think in the end, we managed to do, in spite of COVID, quite something.
Yeah, and it is very evident, what you've done. Last year in March, we had a Back to Your Village Food Bazaar. The ambassador was there, His Excellency Razali was there himself. And maybe the next time, not as the ambassador to Ghana, but maybe next time when you come for a visit, you would also have to pass by and taste, because the Back to Your Village Food Bazaar is it's more of a fair where you have all local meals in Ghana present. So you get to taste meals from, I don't know what food you tasted when you went to the northern part of Ghana, when you went to Tamale, and what did you eat?
I think we were with our colleague who prepared the food for us, but we had chicken, we had also red rat.
Okay, you like red rat?
Yeah, I like it.
It's nice, isn't it?
Jollof rice, of course, and but I would like to come back for the food bazaar, of course.
Of course, you would love
that
it.
Would be if I'm invited or just as a private person.
Absolutely, you will love it, and we will talk about that. It happens every March. But you've spoken about areas in women empowerment, security, agriculture. When you sit back, now that your work in Ghana is coming to a close, when you sit back, are there areas that you think that Ghana can improve on? We can, take advantage of and help build our economy. It could still be in agriculture. It could still be in the area of women in politics or women in business in general. I remember when it came with the lady and the waste users, lady and the other gentleman. I mean, I felt that this was a great initiative that the European Union is embarking on. But as a people, if you are to advise all of us, our government, our citizens, what do you think are the areas that we can focus on and generate income or put ourselves on the global stage properly?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, indeed, we were here not so long ago.
Yeah.
It's called the Green Project. So we work together with the United Nations and also SNV and the Dutch Embassy. And it is basically a small and medium enterprise.
Yeah.
I think that is probably, an area where more could be done. I'm not sure if it's my place to say we should do this or that, but on small and medium enterprises, on technology, on the Green Deal, but we're working a lot with Ghana on it already. Yeah, we have in Europe what we call the EU Green Deal with Vice President Timmermans. And the idea is for Europe to be the first continent that is really carbon neutral. But, Europe is a small part of the world. We cannot do it alone. And then also Ghana was, party to the Paris Agreement, to the Sustainable Development Goals, the SDGs. So working together with Ghana for green jobs, the green economy, and making really that transition towards that. And indeed, what we touched upon, the more inclusion, more women in politics, more women in business. But I think we work already well together in that part, and still more can be done.
Yeah.
And then probably also on infrastructure. This is also an area where we're very active in what we call the smart cities, to make it sustainable in the metropolis of Accra and the metropolis of Kumasi. So those are a couple of areas. But I think what we can really say is we really work together already very well, and we only look forward to making that still better.
Super. Did you visit any of our tourist sites?
Sure, I was...
Apart from Redley?
So we went to Monet Park.
Hey, did you see an elephant?
Yeah, they come very close. They come to even to where you actually have breakfast and sip your coffee, so you can almost touch them. So we went there as a family with the boys and my wife.
Okay.
We often go to Cape Coast,
Castles.
to the castles.
Okay.
Then you go a bit further to Kakum. So there are a number of, we used to go to a place called Koza, so that's, on the beach, which is a nice place. And then even further towards Axim, so Takoradi and then Axim. And then the other side on the Volta region, of course.
Okay.
To the Volta Hotel, and then Aflao. I've been further up, until Togo, so quite a lot.
Did you or Madame or the boys do the canopy walk in Kakum?
We did.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if Madame did that, but I did, and my boys did.
Oh, wow.
Several times.
I'm excited to hear that. I've done that. I've done that once, and I don't think I want to do it again.
You were get dizzy or?
I was everything afraid. I was that scared. I mean, at a point, if I could go back, I would have. But I look back, and the distance is the same as completing. So I just thought, let me just finish it. Exactly. So not much have been done. But
I had my little sister here, and at some point she got also a bit afraid. Like you, exactly on the middle, so you
exactly. You don't know whether to go back or continue. But it is not frightening, but I think it's also very fun to do. But have you made any personal friends in Ghana?
Sure. Yes. Well, I call Victoria Michaels my friend. It's also somebody we work with. The famous model. We see each other often.
Yeah.
Family friend was also at the wedding of the brother, and so we work with her. I see her as a friend, a DJ, several people in the office as well. And I can only say the Ghanaians, the people I meet at least, very hospitable people, very generous and pleasant to work with, very easygoing and nice to hang out.
Super. That's some great testimonies there. So you are leaving this weekend. What next for you in terms of work? Where are you going? Do you know?
So I go back to Netherlands.
Okay.
And I know, there is a new government, so who knows, there is possibilities there. No,
maybe you'll be the next Prime Minister or something.
The position opens up. No, I'm joking. I go back.
No, but I am not joking.
You're not joking.
No, I'm not joking.
Thanks for the confidence. But I am a European diplomat, but as it works, it's a bit technical, but European diplomats, you have people who work for Europe always, and you have people like me and others who are from member states diplomacies. So I come from the Dutch diplomacy.
Okay.
So I was sort of on loan here. So I came from there, and then I go back to Dutch diplomacy, and there I will focus with my ministry. So actually, I'm going to work in The Hague because The Hague is where the ministry is on Europe. So I will focus on a bit of a think tank, thinking about the future of Europe. So I look forward to that. And then my wife, she works for Oxfam and the Dutch branch, and her headquarters are also in The Hague. So and the kids will go to European school, learning Spanish and English and Dutch.
Oh,
That's it, basically.
I'm sure they'll be looking forward to that.
Yes.
Right? But how do they feel about going back?
They are very excited, but I tell them, look, you are very excited because in your mind, you think we go back once per year in July or August, and you think, I'm on the bike, see grandparents in Amsterdam, the weather is so nice, and you don't know that, okay, and if you're actually going to live there, November, December, January, the weather is very bad, you're on your bike in the rain, so I'll keep you posted. After half a year.
But that's home for them, so
True.
I'm sure.
No, but jokes aside, I think they are what you call the third culture kids, right? Because as I said, my wife is from Colombia, and I'm from Netherlands, and we live in Ghana, so it's
a kind of United Nations kind of something,
exactly.
right?
So it's enriching, but I think, I heard it's also good for them to root a bit, to have at least some time back in the net.
And that's a beautiful shirt you have there.
Thank you.
How do you find our clothes?
Well, I go to Woodin often. Am I allowed to say it? Yeah.
Okay, Woodin. Yeah.
Yeah, so the one in Oxford Street.
So this is Woodin. Yeah.
I buy my shirts there, and I got some also as a gift, as a departing gift. So now often in the office we don't wear ties anymore or jackets. We went with this way.
Wow, that's interesting. But why so?
Because we like to blend in, right?
That's nice. It's very, very nice because your appearance says so much, So when we see you, we see the Ghana side of you.
Okay, so
and we like it.
Makes you feel good.
Exactly. Yes, it does too. So, have you fallen in love with any Ghanaian artists? Do you know any Ghanaian songs? Any favorites?
Oh, I thought you were going to say, have you fallen in love with any Ghanaian woman?
No, I think Madame is watching, and I don't think so. Yeah, maybe. Cheers.
Cheers, by the way. Good to be here.
Yes, great to have you here.
No, so Ghanaian artists, just I like the one who says, touch it,
And bend over. That's Kitty.
Yeah, so we listen to that a lot. I was also at the Vodafone Music Awards.
Okay.
When Bella Mundi was presenting, I had to present an award.
Okay.
I often go to Afritico, where they have Afrobeat.
Okay. Oh, you like Afrobeat? Okay. So do you like Stoneboy? Do you like Shatawale? Okay, so you love Stoneboy.
I like that, yeah.
Oh wow! No, I like that. No, I can see where you stand when it comes to entertainment.
Okay.
Yes,
A good thing or a bad thing?
Super amazing, because I think that diplomats work so much, and I also think that sometimes I am tempted to say that diplomats don't have exciting times, because wherever you are, you have to be in a certain composure. You have to, every now and then that you're out, you're representing something and all that. So you don't really let yourself go unless probably you are home or something. Am I right?
Well, sure, it's not a normal job in the way that wherever you are, you represent your country or your organization. And then often it's also in the weekend and in the evening, and you have, your receptions that just the day before the even it's the French National Day. Of course, you have to have composed, but that doesn't mean that you cannot, try to also enjoy the life there and the culture and go to, museums and concerts and also enjoy life and be yourself and make friends and of course, that makes the experience richer because otherwise, what is the point, right?
So when you are not playing the role of deputy ambassador, who are you? How do you unwind? How do you, in your leisure time, what do you do?
So I like to read quite a lot. Father was a bookseller, so that's my...
No one that the boy wants to be a writer.
Exactly. Comes from somewhere.
Absolutely.
Comes from somewhere. And then, if your kids are younger, a lot evolves around. So they have their play dates. You go with them. We do midget golf. They like to go do taekwondo, swimming, the sports for the boys. So we take them out to the beach. So that's what we do.
What beaches do you visit?
So often we go around Cape Coast, actually,
Okay.
and even further. But we're not much of surfers. Maybe a bit lazy, so just enjoy the sun and read a book.
Great.
And then here I like to go to the 233 Jazz Club as well.
Oh, you do! It's one of my favorite places.
It's nice.
I love to be at 233, the live band music.
Yeah,
Do
exactly.
you ever taste their fried yam and their
I do.
grills? Oh, wow. That's interesting to know because it's a beautiful place when you want to go have a feel of Ghanaian hospitality in terms of music, food, and socialization and all
Yeah,
that.
and some people on the Tuesday evening, some of the people in the band, they are my friends. One taught me to play the saxophone for some time, not really successfully.
Ooh,
He is very good. It was my my part of the deal.
wow.
Yeah, but this is a nice place to go to hang. So normally the 233 and then Afrikiko.
Oh, yes. Yes, I love Afrikiko too, but 233, 1, Afrikiko 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
For me, maybe the other.
The other way around. But in wrapping up, you are leaving us, unfortunately and sadly. What memories are you taking away with you from Ghana?
Indeed. Sadly, sad to leave. I think we had a great time here. I'm not just saying it like that. I really am grateful. The kids grew up here. When we arrived, they were 5 and 7. So a big part of their childhood and their playground memories will be here. I take away memories of very hospitable and generous people.
Yeah.
Nice to be with, nice to spend time with. And I can only say I hope Ghana, and I'm sure, will further prosper. Also, between EU and Ghana relationship will even improve. They have improved a lot already. And Ghana will stay the safe and nice country it is.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. We really miss you, Ambassador. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Right. So I've been talking to the Deputy Ambassador of the European Union to Ghana, His Excellency Pieter Smidt-Van-Gelder. And sadly, he's got to leave us, and he's really doing so extremely soon because after this weekend, that will be it. The next time he visits, he probably will be coming in as a private person, probably maybe coming to 233 or to Afrikiko, or maybe to the Red Clay where we'll get to share maybe a bowl of jollof rice or red. This is To Breakfast Daily. We'll be right back.